video. Today's video we're going to be going a little bit extreme. I have a very large physical TBR. If you don't know what that means, it just means to be read. I have a very large physical TBR and it's a lot, okay? I actually counted my books. So here's what's happening. I've rearranged all of the books that I own that I have not read yet on my shelf in my cart. I've rearranged them the other day, and so now before they were arranged alphabetically by author's last name. They were all mixed. I like the way it looked, but practically it just, I don't know. I like the idea of changing it up and having all the genres. So basically, the way that I have organized my shelf now is on my window shelf, in the back of my window shelf that you can't really see, I have continuations of series. So all the books in series that I can't read right now because I have to read another book before I can get to those books. All of those kinds of books, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And then next to that, I have just, either the next book in the series or standalone novels that, books that I can pick up immediately and read. And those are sorted by genre. We have nonfiction, we have classics, we have fantasy, we have a bunch of genres, historical fiction, a whole bunch of different genres, right? And then I have my TBR cart, which has all the books that I've started, because I've started a lot of books, put the bookmark back in and put it down. There's quite a few of those. 1.5 shelves full on my cart. It's not just a handful. It's not. And the rest of the books on my cart are just my priority TBR, meaning books that I'm the most excited for out of all the books that I currently own. Then I have a tiny stack of books that is not on any of the shelves that are my most recent purchase books that I can't add to the shelves until I remove books from the shelves. My whole goal this year was to try and read down my physical TBR and try to not buy books / just read all the books that I own. Numbers. For the books that I have to continue that I can't read yet because I have to read something before it, the series, I have 43. For the rest of the books on the window shelf, I have 61. The books on my cart, 44. And then I also have another TBR shelf / kind of 2 shelves, partially right here and over here. Yeah, right there. Those are my Broken Binding books. I'm part of the Broken Binding subscription, so there's also that in play, which means I'm gonna have more books on my physical TBR because of it. I am opting in for the next series they're sending because it is freaking awesome. I was just like, yes please. So basically, I have the Broken Binding shelf, and that is 19 books currently. Technically 20 if you want to count a book that I've started that's kind of on my currently reading list. But it's like on my currently reading list, so I don't know if that counts. And then I have 4 in my stack that's not on the shelves that are my most recent purchased books. In total, that equals 171 books. Almost 200. Not quite 200 though. Not quite. But almost 200 books. That is ridiculous. That is insane. I do not like that. My ultimate goal is to one day have less than 30 books. And just forever keep my TBR pile at less than 30 books. Because here's the thing. I have a mental TBR. If you don't know what that means, that just means a list that I have. Specifically, I have it on the story graph, but it's like in my head, my list, the books that I see on the internet or find all over the place that I'm like, oh, I want to read that, oh, I want to read that. Those kind of books, I put them all on my story graph, so I have I call it my mental TBR. It's on the story graph. I have a list of books. It's mental, and it's also my physical TBR as well. Both of those combined on the story graph. But I have TBR there that probably has like over 400 books on it, but that's just mentally like, oh, I want to read that book, oh, I want to read that book, not I own it physically. That's just mentally. So I feel like in the future, if I can ever get my TBR down, my goal would be to have as big of a mental TBR as I want and to have the tiniest physical TBR, and I can just look at my mental TBR whenever I'm running out of books and get a few new books, or maybe even go to the library. That sounds crazy, but libraries exist too, I suppose. This video is going to be me reading the books on my physical TBR or getting rid of them. Actually going to be turning this into a little bit of a series. Hopefully if this turns out. I don't know if this is going to turn out. I have attempted this before and it failed. Hopefully if this actually turns out, I'm going to turn this into a series. And I've come up with a name. So many people have done like read it or unhaul it. There's so many different name variations on this. And I have come up with something that I haven't heard anyone use yet. But they might have and I just haven't seen it. This probably isn't original to me, but I came up with it out of my head, not hearing anyone else talk about this title, and that is Devour or Discard. I just thought it would be fun to play with the words being like starting with the same letter, and I was trying to come up with something that I hadn't heard someone else use before because I thought it would be kind of fun, and so that's what I came up with. Basically, we are picking book and reading it or not reading it and getting rid of it. So I'm going to potentially be very brutal. This is scary as heck. First off, I don't have all of my books in this jar. I made this jar last year and I have gotten books since making this jar and I've gotten rid of books since making this jar. So there's going to be books in here that I don't own anymore, and there's going to be missing books that are on my physical TBR that aren't in here. So eventually at some point I might attempt to pull all of these out, see what is all in here, get rid of the ones that I don't own anymore, and try to attempt to add the ones that I don't have in here. But for now we're not going to do that because that's way too overwhelming. I do not feel like doing that. This is just a giant glass jar that I either found it in my attic or I thrifted it or something, and I have 2 stickers on here. Basically, I have 2 Harry Potter stickers on here that I got from a Harry Potter book that I had in the past. This one says Butterbeer in English. This one says Butterbeer in French. Point is, this is my jar, and I'm going to pull a book. So each color of paper represents a different genre. Green is fantasy. Red is historical fiction, I think. The blue might be classics. Yellow is like non-fiction, maybe, or something along those lines. And then white is like the other books that don't have a category. Okay, maybe yellow. Yellow's the other one that doesn't have a category, and white is non-fiction. Something in that vein. I don't know if I'm completely correct on that. Basically, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to pick a paper out of here, and whatever book I choose, I have to read it or I have to get rid of it. I'm going to be a little bit brutal. Now here's the situation. There are going to be exceptions. If, for instance, I pull a Lucy Maud Montgomery book, obviously if I pull one of those, I'll probably read it because those are the only books of recently that I've actually been finishing, minus a recent read. But most of the books that are my recent reads have been Lucy Maud Montgomery books. She's apparently the only one that I can finish her book. So if I do pull one of her books, I'll be reading it. I won't be not reading it. But if for some reason I don't end up reading it, I won't be unhauling it because I will never get rid of one of her books in any way, shape, or form. There might be a few exceptions on the shelves that I'm like, no, I'm definitely not getting rid of this book in any way, shape, or form. But for the most part, if I don't read this book, whatever book gets chosen in this video, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't even care. I am going to attempt to be a bit brutal. Also, this has every single book that I had at the time, so it also has books in the middle of the series. So if I pull a book in the middle of the series, I'll just read whatever the next book would be. So I'm going to pull a book now. We're going to pull a piece of paper. This is the one that's calling to me. Hopefully it's something that I'll be in the mood for because I own way too many books and there's so many different genres. Oh, it's a historical fiction. You can read it first. I have no idea what this says. Luncheon at the Boating Party by Susan Breland. I love this for myself because this is one of the books I got rid of. I love that the first one I drew was one that I can pull out of here and be like, get rid of it because I don't have it anymore. I love that. I've actually done that before. When trying to pull books out of here, I pulled the ones that I don't have anymore, which I love when that happens. Okay, I'm trying to choose from like the very, very middle just to get like a as random as possible, classic, I guess. There's a long title. Oh no, what is it? The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. Okay, but tell me why this was kind of perfect. This is one of those books that's on my list of books that I started. Here is the situation. Here's the history behind this. I grew up watching The Scarlet Pimpernel with Anthony Andrews. One of the best movies ever. It's on my top, 10 movies of all time. I love that movie so much. It is hilarious. It's amazing. I also just love period dramas. Love it. Okay, I grew up watching this movie. I've seen this movie 100 million times. I'm not actually joking. I love this movie so, so much. And when I was a kid, I had no idea that this was a book, right? They're always books. And then when I was an adult, I found out this was a book. And when I got into reading and stuff, I found this out and I was like, what? And then I found out it wasn't a book. It was a series of books. Read The Scarlet Pimpernel and absolutely loved it. Here's the situation. The book, the movie, not quite the same. They have a couple of similar story ideas and stuff, and obviously the characters' names are the same and the premise of The Scarlet Pimpernel is the same, but the actual storyline is kind of completely different. I loved it so much that I made my mom read it and she really liked it. And being the person I am, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to read the entire series, blah, blah, blah. And so I bought this, which is League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. And I don't think this is actually book 2. I think this is technically book 2.0 or 3.0 or something. It's in between. I don't even know. But the point is that I read 12 pages way back a long time ago. This one is actually one of those books that has been on my TBR for years. Literal centuries, not centuries, but it's been years. Years and years and years. Ever since I last read The Scarlet Pimpernel, which was years and years and years and years ago. This has been on my TBR. And I started it probably back when I bought it. So this has been started and on my TBR for years and years. And for years, I kept putting it on different TBRs, being like, I'm going to read this, and I haven't read it. So this is the perfect description of a book that if I don't read it in this video, I'm getting rid of it. We're doing the ultimatum, and guess what? I don't care. Obviously, I haven't cared enough all of these years of owning this book to read it. So if I don't read it in this video or finish it in this video, then I have to get rid of it. And we're picking another book, and that's that, because I have to give this, I want to genuinely give this a shot. I genuinely want to read it and love it like I did the first book. But maybe this is just one of those things that I read the first book, love it, and leave it at that. Maybe it's not so serious that I need to read the entire series. But if I could find an audio version of this, somehow I don't think I can. But if I could, I would, and I would listen to it for sure. Because I feel like that would help me so much in actually getting through this. And I think another thing that has deterred me from reading this is the format of this book. First off, it's just really thin and giant. It couldn't just be like the first book. Well, the first book, yeah, it couldn't be like the first book. And it's also just giant pages. And I don't know why, but that just puts me off. I'm gonna go search out that. I'm gonna drink my cup of tea, and I'm gonna try to read The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. Oh my gosh, guys, I think it's gonna finally happen. I'm finally gonna read The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel after all of these years. I'm gonna do it, guys. Oh my gosh. Basically, I checked Libby first, because always gotta check your free options first. And they did have a ebook version of it, and I was thinking if I can't find it in audio form, maybe I could just read the ebook version and I don't have to deal with this format, right? Then I was looking up some other things, and I did see they had an audio version that wasn't available to me, but it did exist on there. So then I went to Libro FM and I searched it, and they had it on there. I used one of my credits because I have some credits on there, and I'm now going to listen to this. It's 7 hours and 44 minutes, so it's basically 8 hours, and I listened to it at 2 times speed, so it's basically only 4 hours long. Guys, I'm finally gonna read this book. I feel so excited right now. I've been listening to the audiobook, and basically I was drawing for like a tiny bit, and then I decided that I didn't actually really want to do that right now, and I wanted to do some knitting, so I was working on my knitting project. I had to frog it again, but basically I made it to chapter 3, page 43. I've listened to 2 hours worth of the audiobook, probably like an hour. I've been sitting here for an hour reading, and I made it to chapter 3. Even though it doesn't feel like I made much progress, I feel like a lot has happened in the book, and holy crap, why have I been sleeping on this? Why have I not been reading this? Literally, like a few minutes into the audiobook, they just like mention Marguerite, and I'm like, like, I don't, like, I think before, when I started this and read like 12 pages or something, there wasn't much of anything in here that like related back to the Scarlet Pimpernel book or the story in general of the stuff that I know. But now, having read 43 pages, we got Citizen Chauvelin, we got the Scarlet Pimpernel. The Scarlet Pimpernel is just, you know, he's the elusive Scarlet Pimpernel, and he keeps eluding Chauvelin, and Chauvelin is not happy. Trying to catch him. The French people are trying to catch this Englishman, and they're failing. So yeah, this is just absolutely phenomenal, amazing. I can't believe I've been sitting on this book. But also, I think it really does have to do with the format of this book. I think it genuinely is the format. Like, if I had found an audiobook years ago, I probably would have listened to it and would have loved it. Alright, guys. It is later. What day is it? It's currently Thursday evening. Can't remember the last time I updated you. I think it was the day before yesterday. I actually haven't done a single lick of reading today. I didn't listen to my audiobook at all. Actually, yesterday my intention was to listen to my audiobook at work during my breaks, and I did not do that at all. And then today, I was like, oh, I'm going to do that, and I didn't. Yesterday, I did listen to the audiobook in the morning, I want to say. And I also, I think, listened to it. I don't know if I listened to it in the evening, but I definitely listened to it in the morning. So I did read a little bit yesterday. Shocking news. I'm past the halfway point. We are 56% through this book. So I am making progress, and I only have half left, which means probably like about 2-ish hours. So tomorrow, I'm hoping to get the audiobook on and finish it. I have some stuff to do tomorrow. I have to do some baking. I'm making some stuff, just some food, and then I'm also making dessert for Easter. So there's that. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna put this audiobook on and try to finish it tomorrow. I was looking at these editions, like looking for the other books and stuff, and maybe trying to find a better edition for this book than this one, because I honestly, no. And it's not a ton of options. It's not like there's just like these really nice editions or whatever. But there are some pretty cool editions from the 1940s, and I'm like, am I now going to just collect the entire Scarlet Pimpernel series in these 1940s editions? I fear so. I bought the second book in the series, I believe. So, this is technically not the second book. This is book 2.3 or something. 2.5. 2.5. This is book 2.5. Hello, everyone. It is now officially Friday, my day off. I have been working on stuff all day. This morning, or this afternoon, before lunch, morning, afternoon, whatever, I was working on some sewing stuff, and I didn't do any listening to my audiobook because I suck. But I don't suck because I was baking for basically the rest of the day after lunch, and basically from 1 something probably up until like 4 something. I've been doing it all day. And guess what else I did? I finished the audiobook. We can officially remove my not bookmark. I finished The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Imukta Orczy. Are you excited, guys? Because I'm excited. This, first off, it has been so many years of me not reading this. This has been on my TBR for so long. It's one of the books I own that's been on my TBR the longest, as I mentioned before. So I am so stoked, so excited to finally have read this book. First. Secondly, there are some books that come before this that I need to read. I didn't realize that there were 2 whole books that came before this one. So I definitely need to read those. Thirdly, yes. This book was amazing. I loved it. Oh my gosh. I have to read you this one of the last things in here. This is hilarious. Chauvelin is trying to capture Sir Percy as always, and he found some clothes of his or something, and he found a piece of paper, and this is what it said. And this is just hilarious. It said, "We seek him here, we seek him there. Chauvelin seeks him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? Let them Elisabeth Pimpernel." I just thought it was so hilarious that he put Chauvelin's name in there. The original poem doesn't have Chauvelin's name in it, and I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. I was just listening, and then he read this, and I was like, wait, that's amazing, that's hilarious. I just think it's so funny because Percy's just making fun of Chauvelin and just flaunting the fact that Chauvelin cannot catch him, and it's hilarious. Chauvelin's just like infuriated by this because he's just like doing his best trying to catch Percy and he's failing, and it's just amazing. It's hilarious, and Percy is just boss. He's just saving so many people. I really, really recommend the Scarlet Pimpernel series. Also, I can finally put this on my red shelf. Yes, I know I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook. Some people are gonna say you didn't read it, you listened to the audiobook. You know what I mean. I didn't read the book physically, but I read it in the sense that, like, it's now on my red shelves because I listened to the audiobook, okay? It's not, I read it as in I read it with my eyes. It's just that I have intaken the story, whether that's with my eyes or with my ears. I've intaken the story. And I'm just using read as a term, not as in reading with my eyes, but just as in I've intaken this book. I think we're going to end this video here, and I will do the next video at some point. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't believe I actually finished. First off, I can't believe I finished The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. I can't believe I finished a book in general because my reading has been not great. And just the fact that I also finished a book that I pulled out of a jar, which doesn't usually happen. I try and attempt these things all the time, and I never actually end up reading the book, or I end up DNFing it and getting rid of it, or whatever. I actually finished a book that I pulled out of a jar. And it's The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel, which has been on my TBR for so long. And I finished a book, just in general, is kind of amazing. So, I feel really good about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a fun time. I will see you in the next one. I hope you go on your own fun reading adventures. Editing me coming in super quick. I just wanted to say I'm sorry that this video is coming out way later than I intended it to. I just am really, really bad at editing and uploading any of the clips that I film. So the fact that I'm editing this and it's going out is actually quite awesome and insane because that doesn't happen often. And the second point I wanted to make whilst I was in here is that I did receive the book that I mentioned that I have bought, and these are the editions that I'm talking about. They look like this, and they're really old and really cool looking. This one is 1953. These are just really cool editions, and I will be collecting the Scarlet Pimpernel series. In these editions, I have to find book 1, I guess, in these editions. This is the second book in the series, the next book that I need to read.
The fact is, I'm just crackers about cheese.